All right, everyone, welcome to Level Up. Now, this is the show where we take a boring gaming setup and upgrade it, making it the ultimate gaming experience. I'm your host, Golden Boy, and we're very excited because today we're actually going to be at the house of Lamb, and he is about to get the gaming experience of a lifetime. Let's get this payload moving.
Hey, my name is Lamb. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Orange County, California. I have a Switch connected to a monitor that doesn't really work because I got it from a garage sale, and a computer that could play games, but it doesn't exactly have the most memories. Golden Boy, I need your help. Please level me up, level up my gaming experience. It might even level up my life.
Hey.
Yo, Golden Boy, what's up?
Man?
Nice
How
to see
you doing? Welcome
Good.
to Level Up. We're here to set up your crib. You excited?
I am ecstatic.
I look at this and I think of a great base, which we can make some really cool stuff in here. All right, Lamb, so I'm gonna let my team come in here. We're gonna gut the place and we're gonna get to work. You excited?
I'm thrilled, I can't wait.
Now let's show Lamb his new space.
What? Oh my God. Dude, is this my room?
Yep. Of course, shout out to Tryhard and Sub Nation. Lamb, you've been leveled up. How you feel?
I feel amazing. Thank you to all the sponsors for blessing me with all this beautiful gear. I love it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time. All right, and there you have it, Level Up. So I've kind of taken over on the hosting side. Machine had to go for his lunch break. You know, typical Machine. How could he? But there you saw right there, Level Up with Tryhard and Sub Nation. That was actually Lamb. Awesome guy. That was the guy I was talking about. Such a fun dude to talk to. But we're also joined by another one of the Level Up winners, who is Chase.
Yes.
Chase, how you doing, man?
I'm not Lamb. I'm not Lamb. You may have wanted Lamb after the trailer. This is what you get.
Yeah.
He's booked and blessed. Yes, I was also on Level Up.
Yeah, so for one, congratulations, obviously.
you.
But that was a fun
Yeah,
experience.
I did a lot.
right?
I did a lot to get into that. Yeah, it was very much like its own battle royale that I had to compete in, and I won.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah.
The battle
like I
royale of
would.
life. You know.
I feel like I would do well in a real life battle royale situation.
So since, which, you know, everyone could watch the show when it comes out, and you'll see Chase's hookup, but what have you done with your new setup?
I mean, I've been fine tuning it in every way I can. I think it's we have game night planned.
Okay.
Because we have a weekly game night where we play Smash Bros all night, and so I've been meaning to kind of get people over to my place because I'm like, it's actually presentational now. Like, it actually is a good setup, so I can actually have people that I want over and will respect the space.
That's pretty awesome. But I also understand too, you're here for E3. I know you got some stuff going on later on here on this stage, but
I don't even know. I barely know where I am. People just wheel me in a cart over, and then I figure it out. But no, I'm here as a part of Gamer Guys, which is my YouTube show that I have. We are the only professionally produced LGBT video game show in existence for the people
awesome.
that make RuPaul's Drag Race, if you know what that is. So we'll be here. We're roaming the floor, getting a bunch of footage and stuff. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's been Pride Month as well, so it's been pretty
that's
fun.
how you know games belong to the gays, because E3 is in June every year. I'm just saying, we own everything in this month.
Yeah,
so I'm taking ownership over it.
100% awesome, and I tell you, Chase, it was really fun to meet you, to chat with you, to get an idea on your backstory and who you are. And I'm glad now. I'm glad that people can go over to your place and play video games now.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I was fine with my setup before, but for me, not for bringing other people into it. You know, it was not like I've never been much of a social gamer, but it's nice to kind of be around people that do play games a little bit more, because that almost unlocks a different part of the industry I've never seen before. So that part I'm really excited about, to actually bring some people back over.
You have these random people coming into your house and building out a new
Don't
setup.
tell them my personal life or anything like that.
There you go. But you had a bunch of people come in and really, trying to build this great setup. What did you have any concerns? Were you worried about anything, maybe that we would break something?
No, it's all. I was like, just give me the free stuff. No, it's all good. I
Okay.
wasn't worried. I don't think so because it's just like, I'm really kind of a go with the flow kind of person. So I was like, they're gamers. They're gonna hook me up with something new. If I had done it myself, I probably would have been like critiquing it to the nth degree. But if having someone else do it, I'm just like, this is great. I wouldn't have ever expected this.
Yeah, and you said that you're also fine tuning it now too, right? Like making it more to your taste, to your likings. Anything that you've done differently since?
I got
we
a
left
couple
here?
Funko Pop figures that we've added to the shelving units on the
Nice.
side. Changed up the lighting to where I wanted it to be. Made sure I got that sound system kicking, which is probably my favorite thing actually. That was like a sleeper hit. I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then of course I load up like Gears of 4 because I'm going through my back catalog, and I was like, oh, we got a bass in this.
Yeah,
Subwoofer.
No, that home theater sound system is like really intense.
I think that secretly has become my favorite aspect of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That's
don't
awesome.
think I realized how much I would really like that.
Well, I think that was a pleasant surprise too, because I remember when they unpacked it, and then they were like laying this thing down. I said, "What's that? Is that like just some storage thing?" And they're like, "No, that's the subwoofer for the TV." Get out of here. That's
Rich.
not- yeah.
Rich. My place looks like I'm part of the 1% now. It's great.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're living the life. Well, you know, we're here at E3, and we've had, and because now you have this brand new setup from SubNation and TryHard, what game are you looking to play here for E3 that you found out about at E3 2019 that you now want to take to the task with your brand new setup?
I mean, I think the thing that looked the most interesting for me, thing that I found out about, right? Because like Cyberpunk is my
Oh yeah, we're all
I'm
waiting
most
for
interested
Cyberpunk.
in that game.
And you have a bunch of lights in your home now too, so you're
right,
Cyberpunked
so it's all
out.
set and good to go.
Yeah.
I would say for me, the one that I might be, I don't know if this is, if I looked back at the list, if this would be the one I'm most excited about, but it's certainly the first one that came to my mind. That's got to mean something. Deathloop. Even though there was no gameplay about it, I was like,
That
this
looked
looks
interesting. Yeah, that was the. Well, which one was that? I'm trying to
That was
remember.
the one that, if it was like Mr. and Mrs. Smith almost, it kind of looked like it was the man and the woman. They were having a marital squabble.
Yes.
Squabble. I don't know
Yes,
if,
and then
if
the
they're
guy
married. I'm
like
just making up a
it's like
storyline.
I thought that was called 15 minutes, or is that the?
No, I know what you're talking about. That,
Okay.
I am talking about Deathloop, but that looked interesting too.
That 15 minutes game looked.
That was a
like,
different marital. That actually was like some kind of marital quarrel.
Yeah.
No, that did look interesting.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
because you're meant to replay that, and you're like, what happened?
I
My
know.
roommate stopped cooking in the kitchen. She's like, is this a game? And I was like, yeah, it is.
And it's so like very cinematic, which I really like. And you know, I have to say, you know, now that you have that brand new TV, you got the subwoofer, you're going to be able to do some really cool stuff. Maybe Gears 5 be another option.
We'll see.
Yeah?
Gears 4 is a little rough for me at the moment.
Okay.
Yep, Microsoft ain't going to invite us back to their press conference. It's just inconsistent, in my opinion.
That's
I'm pretty
fair.
hard on games. I'm really, really hard. So it's just like some parts of it I really like, some not.
Yeah.
I will say I really love that we're going to have a female protagonist as in Gears.
Yeah, no, that's actually
That's
pretty
exciting
awesome.
to me.
And the story there looks really good. And I think that's also going to be, visually speaking, it's going to be like a jaw-dropping game without a doubt, because Gears always looks stunning. Right?
Yeah. I think 4 is a little inconsistent at times,
Okay.
but when it hits its stride, I'm like, oh yeah, this is really pretty. I'm
yeah.
really into this. It is another Gears game, so I don't know if I'm just fading out of like not liking or being a Gears person anymore, because I felt that way with Fallout. I played Fallout 4 for like 70 hours. I was like, you know, I'm good. I don't think I
Yeah.
ever need to do
Yeah,
this
yeah.
again.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
speaking of, I was thinking about the setup, and a game that I'm very excited about is Outer Worlds, and
Yes.
that looks really fun. And I was thinking that is actually a fun game to play on like a giant TV and a setup. You know,
I'm
like,
intrigued by it because I love science fiction is like my genre for sure. Like that's
Yeah.
my zhuzh. But I don't know enough about Outer Worlds yet to where I can definitively say if I'm excited about it. I'm
Yeah.
paying attention, but that doesn't mean I'm excited for it.
Fair enough, man. Well, you know what, Chase? Thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us here. You'll be back later on.
I will, yeah.
For another segment, correct?
We'll be here, I think, at 1:30,
Okay.
doing a bit of Gamer Guys and kind of educating the audience on that.
All right, awesome. So that's going to be going on at 1:30. But obviously, this has been the Level Up, TryHard, SubNation. It's awesome. Hopefully you guys enjoy it and enjoyed what you saw right there. We have plenty more on the way as well. Some great setups that we managed to hook up. Huge shout out to the team that worked tirelessly throughout the days to make this thing a reality. And also a huge shout out to, once again, to TryHard and SubNation for making this, this thing exist, right? For allowing this to come into existence. So big thank you there. But this has been a wrap. Thank you so much. I'm Golden Boy. Make sure you stick around, though, because we're going to have more fun stuff coming at you live here from the SubNation stage here at the Esports Zone at E3. See you soon.
Like my friend over here, I also got a really high multiplier, especially early on. So I got into the middle area right away, and I managed to get a 9 times multiplier. And so then I was just riding the inner rail for as long as I could. And then once I hit 50K, I started second guessing myself. I thought, hey, if I drop this is all for nothing. So I jumped off at 50-ish K. And then I just couldn't get it back. I couldn't get my 9 times multiplier back, and I couldn't keep going. And then I got killed by someone who agreed to not shoot. Who was it? Who killed me? All right, well, I died.
Do we have replays yet in this? All right, maybe we can look at the replay and try to figure that out. But how surprised were you when this guy over here just leaped ahead of you at the very end?
Honestly, I felt it coming. After our first match, we actually went over there, and we were like, hey, let's play again. And then he did a similar thing when we were playing there. So I was like, all right, his score hasn't moved for like a minute. Something's happening. But you know what? I'm gonna let it happen, man. If he drops it, that's on him. But he's not gonna drop it because I know he's been wanting this. So I know he's gonna pull through. And so I wasn't really surprised.
So maybe let him have this one. But you guys have one more round. So what do you say to him going into this next round?
Hey, man, so I know initially I said as long as someone from UCLA wins, it's good. But, like, come on, bruh. Come on.
All right, well, we got to let the response happen. All right. How do you respond to that?
How do I respond to that? I mean, someone from UCLA is going to win, and I don't know who it's going to be, but...
And we will find out as the IndyCade tournament continues. 2 members of UCLA Esports making it to the next round. Setting up the stage, setting up the rivalry. I don't know. There's some other competitors out there. I don't know if UCLA has it in the bag, but we'll see. What a dramatic game that was.
That was pretty wild. That's what I want to see. Dropping those big combos. Yeah, it's great.
The last second victory. It looks like we have another game going, so we might scroll into that again.
Oh man,
we're looking for 46K. We have 4 players at a time. We're looking for top 2, and we already have someone at 46K halfway through. And as someone else was mentioning over there, whenever the score is still, that's kind of when you get a little nervous. It's like, okay, their score hasn't moved in a while.
Yeah.
I guess there are elements of the game where it's like you identify that, and then you maybe go try to find them to mess with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you probably want to keep an eye on the other players, and see what they're doing. And if you see them flying around really high up, holding massive tricks, there's some subtle visuals on the like on the boat and the effects and the jump. There's like some sparkles and different kinds of trails and like electric that like builds up as your combo gets larger. So if you see someone jumping across the map with all these effects on, it's like, I know this guy's in a massive combo.
So
it's
they're
like,
lit up and they're very flashy.
Yeah, it makes them stand out. Like it's not huge, it's not massively obvious, but it's enough to tell the difference,
Another one of our players was discussing like a 9 times multiplier. Can you discuss? I know we might have gone over it a little bit, but just a little bit more as far as how the multiplayer works and the best way to really build up those multipliers.
Okay, I guess the best strategy is, it's basically one multiplier for every trick you do.
Okay.
Kickflips are worth 2, but it's basically like adds for each trick it adds a new one. So basically the longer you keep the combo going, the more tricks that are in it, the more points it's gonna multiply up to. And
gotcha.
That's pretty much all there is to it. Like just get the combos long as possible. So you wanna hit those rails. You wanna land into a manual between every kickflip and every grab, and
gotcha.
like wall plant, wall ride.
Like right there, we just saw ×8, ×10, but then he ended his combo. So, all right, we'll see what happens here. 3 seconds left. It's actually pretty close between number 2 and number 3, finishing up their tricks, but
he's still going.
There is
event 6.
Oh yeah,
What's
it looks like it says it's still going, but it looks like our top 2 are pretty much secured here in this matchup. Very nicely done. Didn't you guys just play? I feel like you guys just played. Am I going to the wrong side of the stage? Didn't you guys just play? All right, who got 79K? All right. Nice job, dude. How was that? What strategies did you kind of rely on to get that high number?
Well, I finally found out about the manual and how to do that, so chaining the combos like that was way easier.
Yeah, between the grinds and the manuals, just extending those tricks. Were you nervous at any point about these guys? Did they start coming at you at all once they saw you were kind of racking up the score?
When I was in the middle, I saw a lot of them there, and I was like, might as well just move and go somewhere else, do tricks.
Kind of just stay away from that danger. Nice job, dude. 79K, a pretty good score. Who's at 32K? All right, man, you barely made it, but I noticed someone was just behind you at 20K. So especially the end. Were you a little nervous at the end there, or talk to me about the kind of the late game there, as you had someone pretty close behind you?
Yeah, at the very end, I was worried because he hasn't changed points very much, and then when the timer ended, it was said that he was keep on going, but I think he messed up his combo or something, and it didn't bring him up enough. But yeah, I was worried a little bit.
How did you enjoy that?
It was pretty fun. Just try to keep on doing the same grinding, but try my best.
All right, good job. Good job to our top two there. Moving on to the next round. 80K, not too bad at all. Like seeing that.
Wait, this is our first round winners facing off.
Oh, gotcha.
From the second tier, I think.
Okay.
So we should see the stakes getting higher.
I see. So it's the top two from before playing against each other.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. We might get some clarity on that in a second, but it looks like we have another game going. So I guess there's 2 rounds in the tournament of Wave Break. There was 1 round of Kill
Eliminations?
Squad. The 1 round of Kill Squad, and then we had the first round of Wave Break, and now we're in the second round of Wave Break.
We're in the cutting down the bracket
Right.
to see who's gonna make it into the third round for Killer Queen.
So these guys have experience. They've had their hands on this game for a little bit here from the last round. As we get into this next game here, 14K in front, 8K just behind. Honestly, pretty even all around. Top two very close to each other. But you never know if someone's holding on to a stealthy
Big boy
combo.
trick.
Approaching halfway, we're seeing, again, we're concerned about top two, but each one of these players over 10K already. Let's see if anyone can pull off a crazy combo. I'm gonna kind of sneak behind these guys and see who's on any good current streaks. It looks like no one's really building any massive combos right now.
Playing it safe, maybe. You don't want to have a massive combo and then someone shoots you at the last minute, right?
Yeah, there's an element of that. In a conversation I just had with one of the players, it's like, you know what? I was at 50K, but I decided to just, bail. Just finish the trick right at 50K rather than going for more. And sometimes those are the decisions you have to make, especially if it's a close game. Look at how close these guys are. 27K, 22K, 21K, 16K. These guys are very close. And again, we're concerned about top two. Seeing a little bit of firefighting. This very contested area in the middle with this circle that you do grinds around. Let's see how this ends up unfolding. Approaching 1 minute remaining in this round. Number 2 and number 3 could not be any closer right now. Let's see how this finishes up. Still a battle in that inner area around that middle circle.
Ooh, we got 50 seconds. Can anyone pull off the mid-combo barrel shot? Or the mid-combo bird shot?
Top 3 all still very close. In fact, number 4 not too far away either. Number 2, look at how close. Number 1 and number 2, 34K, 33K. Who's going to get those combos here at the end? 15 seconds left. Remember, time will not necessarily end your run. As long as you can stay up when time expires, your combo will count towards your score, provided you can complete your trick. It could not be closer. 35K in the front, 33K in second. We got 3 players still going. It's not over just yet. And the combo is not completed. Wow.
Close one.
So close between number 1 and number 2. Who's number 1? Who are my top 2? You're number 1? You're 2? Who's 1? I think it was you. That was pretty close. I gotta ask you guys. In a game this close, is that affecting kind of your strategy at all?
No, I just did the same thing. Rinse and repeat. Get some points, get in first place, and kill everybody.
Boom. Who were the ones who were like in that circle area, kind of battling out? You guys were? All right, talk to me about that a little bit. Were you guys more or less friendly in there, or were you guys fighting for that territory?
It was literally shoot because we like shooting. Like, that's what it felt like.
There you go. You can put those tricks together, or you can just shoot. I want to talk to number 2 here, and again, this was such a close game. What were you kind of thinking towards the end there, trying to get that lead in a game this close?
Just do a lot of grabs, do a lot of tricks, and stay away from the middle part because everybody was in there.
I'm beginning to understand that strategy too. Stay away from those chaotic spots. Congrats to our top 2 finishes there. Moving on to the next round. That happens. I guess you have these spots on the maps that might become a little bit concentrated.
It's kind of like a choke point, I guess,
Yeah.
you know, in other maps. And even if people don't want to go there, I think if they get in there and there's another player, they get caught up in the going-ons. And
Yeah, I feel like I would almost like maybe just be somewhere where I can kind of see, because then I'll be like, okay, if someone's getting a crazy combo, then I'll try to sneak in there and take him out or something like that.
you know, once you get more familiar with the map and the controls, like going up and over the hotel is like less of a challenge. So the better players they'll be up on the roof and they'll be doing big air over the top of the hotel instead of driving underneath it. And it's you can't keep up with them if you've got to take a different route around. And so you can use those really good lines up high to stay away from the lower skill players, I guess.
And then I guess in the different environments, are there pretty much always going to be like those concentrated places where inevitably the top player is going to go to get the most of their points? Is that kind of a part of the design?
I think there'll be enough different ways to approach it that if someone like decides to really go and figure out a different area, there'll be something they can do. And it's gonna, there'll be so much different ways to approach it that I don't think there'll necessarily be choke points for advantageous play. People just kind of naturally flow to certain places because the levels are laid out that way.
All right. Well, it looks like we have another game going. I think we're gonna go and take a look at that in a second. Again, we're going back and forth between games of Wave Break, one of our games in the IndieCade Showcase.
Yep, we're down at the IndieCade Showcase for all 3 days of E3. So if you want to talk to a bunch of the devs, we've got some of the artists on the game. Most of the teams down here, it's a pretty small team, and so if you want to know what's coming in the game in the future, how we made some of the parts, how we got a crazy water simulation running while rendering the rest of the game, definitely come by and ask us. And
yeah, that's awesome. And I want to say that, that's what E3 is about. All these developers, they want to talk to you. They want to hear your feedback. They want you to play their game. So don't be afraid. Go talk. Go ask questions. I think that applies for anyone here. We're all here playing video games, having fun. Feel free to say hi to your neighbor and get to know each other. But especially, go talk to these developers. They love your questions. They're obsessed with your questions. That's why they're here. But yeah, we're looking at Wave Break right now, one of our IndieCade Showcase games. Again, the round after this, we're going into Killer Queen Black. And that's going to be very exciting, the last round of the tournament, to find out who our champion is. Looking at the score here, 30K, 24K, 17K, 10K. Pretty close there at the top. Again, we are looking for top 2. If you're wanting to get your hands on this game, you can play it right now. We have free PlayStations over on the left side. My left, your right. We have free PlayStations. You can just go play and you can try out this game. If you see this and you're like, you know what, these guys are noobs. I can score much better. Well, you have the ability to go do that right now. And also, there's a lot of different modes you can try over there as well.
Yeah, we got the other map. We got a couple of different game modes, so you can mix it up a bit and see what kind of other features we got coming. It's not the full list of stuff. There's a demo build, a E3 demo build, so
Right.
we'll have a lot more coming.
Awesome.
I mean, just chat to us in Discord at any time if you want to know more. We're always there.
Yeah, can you tell them the Twitter and the Discord again?
Twitter is at WaveBreakGame, and Discord is discord.gg/FunktronicLabs. Yeah, you can grab a Steam key and play the alpha all week. So hit it up.
There you
Show
go.
us your high score.
Check
Send
it
us-
out, but
send
here
us
we
bug
go.
reports.
Time is expiring. I think our number 1 and number 2 are quite clear. 64K and 53K. As that wraps up the game. Okay, 72K. That's what I'm talking about. We good. All right, did you guys get top 2? All right, talk to me about that, guys. Let's start with you. 72K. You getting used to the game? Is it becoming easy now?
That was worse than my first run. I was trying to do something a little bit different, and it wasn't working out. So once we got about a minute left, I'm like, let me get some kills in my combos, get some quick points, and then move forward and make sure I guaranteed my movement.
Yeah, well, what different strategies are you kind of considering now that you have a few more minutes in the game, I suppose?
For this game specifically, I was trying to get everybody liked the middle, so I was going to try to get in the middle, get a quick multiplier, and then ride out and try to grind my way to a higher score by staying on the rail a little bit longer. But I kept trying to do too much, like trying to combo chain from a grind to another grind, and I kept screwing up. So I was like, whatever, just make it easy, just make sure I get in.
Well, I'll say something. I mean, you're saying you're screwing up a lot, but hey, really good score, 75K, at least in my opinion. But look out, maybe a future Wavebreak Pro in the as the game develops. But I want to talk to second place over here, 50K, respectable score. How did that round go for you?
But it went better than my first round, from 20 to 50. I got a practice round in, so it helped a lot.
Nice on those free play stations where you can go play right now. I like it. Getting that practice in. So now that you have a little bit more time in the game, what kind of strategies are you looking towards as you play this game more?
Just better bonusing, just grinding, jumping. That's basically it.
All right, sounds good. Hey, congrats, guys. Good luck in the next round as we conclude another game of Wavebreak. And
exciting stuff.
I like hearing kind of what they're saying about the different ways they think about the game as they play it more. I mean, as you mentioned before, like that's certainly part of it. Playing the game and then understanding the dynamics and then adjusting your play to get a better score.
Yeah, I mean, most games, at the heart of it, like most games are figuring out how they work and I guess applying your skill to kind of navigate that in the best way you can. And I think what makes a lot of these games appealing is that the space to navigate is so complex that there's almost no perfect way, and people can spend a lot of time like figuring it out. And then there's also a kind of skill barrier. Even if you know that this is the best way to do it, it's like you're gonna have to like really practice and train and get those like muscle memory skills as good as they can be to actually execute on it.
Yeah, awesome stuff and really fun to watch it unfold, and especially again seeing the progression of skill as these guys put more time to the game.
In just 2 or 3 rounds,
Yeah, it's really cool. And I don't know about that 4 million number though. I gotta watch you play a little bit to really pick up the secrets. But hey, Kalen, thanks for being here. Thanks for talking to me and discussing Wavebreak. Anything else you wanted to say? Because we're gonna move on. We're done with Wavebreak. We're gonna go into the next round. But again, thank you so much for being here. The floor is yours. Anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, I guess for anyone listening, like this is still a very early alpha build. So what you've seen is everything's gonna be hopefully better and more full content and we got more levels. We got more tricks, more characters, more boats, full customization of all the swag on your boats and characters, and full single player mode, online mode. We got everything.
A lot
screen.
to offer.
What do you want? Like
a lot to
what
offer.
Else can we add?
And what I like, it sounds like there's a lot of replayability. That's one of my favorite things with a game. Just the ability to approach it differently every time you play. And honestly, for me, just setting personal goals and just try to constantly improve.
Improve yourself. No hassle gaming. Jump in with your friends. See them playing somewhere. Just get in and
I love
play.
it.
And
a lot of different
that's
dynamics in Wavebreak. Check it out. Entering alpha soon. Join the Discord. Get yourself your alpha code. Go try out the game over there. But thanks again for being here.
Thank you.
And discussing Wave Break. It's time to move on into our next game. We're going to take a short break here from the E3 Esports Zone. Once again, special shout out to our sponsors, Respawn Energy Drink and HyperX. If you want to check them out, HyperX is right over there. They got this crazy chair with a bunch of keyboards and mice on it. It's ridiculous. Go check it out. If you want to try out Respawn, the energy drink, quite a tasty drink. This might be the period of the day where we're entering the afternoon. Some people have been here since 9. Maybe you're
We are back live from E3 at the E3 Esports Zone. We're doing Sub Nation Live, and I'm your host, Alex Machine Richardson. We are back in business, and we have fully filled the sofa for the first time, day 2. Got Bernard Chang, Seven, and Kim Rom all joining me to have a very enlightening conversation about a project they've all been working on for some time. So I guess we start with some introductions. Bernard, you are DC Marvel character artist, and you find yourself now kind of stepping another foot into esports. How has this journey been for you so far?
I've played video games ever since I was a little kid. Video games and comic books were the two
My
big
kind of
things.
guy. My kind of guy.
My first video game console was the old Nintendo Japanese red and white one.
Wow.
And then they also had like a separate, I had a separate disc thing that you could add. So that was like really hard to find in the US.
Yeah. So OG gamer, on the other end, the other bookend of this sofa, Kim Rom, I think an OG of esports. Are you okay with that? Does that stroke your ego the right way?
I think that's fair to say.
No, but yeah, I mean, you have truly been a voice and a part of a lot of the kind of groundwork that esports is built upon. Which stand out to you most? What do you define yourself most by, those projects that you've been a part of?
Honestly, probably Explain.
Yeah.
Explain. I'm revitalizing the brand right now, but from 2001 to 2014, it was the premier Danish Counter-Strike community. It was like the one place where everyone would go. I'm really proud of having shepherded that in the beginning.
Absolutely. And now a partnership has formed. Seven, of course, CEO of Sub Nation. You were telling me that there were some dots connected. Can you walk me through how this relationship started?
So I've known both Bernard and Kim for a very long time. Kim and I know each other from ESL back in the day, and we are working with him on X-Plane from an investment standpoint, and we were having a conversation about the 20-year anniversary of Counter-Strike coming up. And Kim was really going deep on Guzman from Counter-Strike. And we have this Unlearn brand at Sub Nation, and Sub Nation is really about curating the culture of esports and protecting the authenticity of it. So everything we do, we try and touch from the OG side and really help lead the culture of it. And so Bernard is also a dear friend for a long time. Unbelievable artist, does Batman Beyond, Teen Titans. And so we wanted to create this brand that we could reuse over and over again to educate people through art.
Yeah.
And so Unlearn will feature, well, I'll let you talk about the first episode or the first product for Unlearn.
Ooh. Well, it's Guzman and Ming Lei, and he is kind of the unsung hero, right? He developed the programming that enabled multi-player gaming, online gaming, that is pretty much most of E3 today.
I spend my 300 days a year commentating professional tournaments of salaried six-figure players of a game he made a modification on. And it's crazy that not many would know that name.
Right, and it's a real honor to really pay homage and kind of bring to the spotlight, these guys that are pioneers and founders of what we enjoy doing today.
So Kim, can you give everyone watching a bit of a history lesson, albeit briefly? 1999, two kids in a room somewhere.
Absolutely. So June 19th, 1999, Gooseman had been working on this for about better part of a year. He was 17 years old when he started, right? So in a world where no one had ever done a battle arena, had never done an online-only, no-story type of game, this guy come up with a game that's set in realistic settings, involves the best mappers from the community to create the maps. You can argue that there is no Counter-Strike game. It is really different maps with different themes and feelings that you're playing on. He comes up with the first meta, an economic buy system that has repercussions for how you play the game.
Which has only received its first changes recently. I mean, at least in CSGO, but I mean, the foundations have been laid and stayed for 20 anniversary?
Yes.
20 years.
It's absolutely nuts to think about, right?
Yeah.
And the best thing about that is actually like when you ask him, he would say like, the buy system was a failure because people still kept buying the AK-47 and the Colt.
Sure. Yeah. The fact you're calling it a cult, I think, is testament to the OG nature of your Counter-Strike. So from that, you as a collaborative unit, decided that you wanted to commemorate him in a way.
So in 1999, this 17-year-old kid is responsible for making a free mod that has realistic guns in realistic settings, asymmetrical multiplayer team-based shooter. There are so many different things in this title that had never been done before that it's almost impossible to understand. I was running one of the biggest game sites in Denmark at the time, so I saw the cultural change. And it was a defining moment for gaming culture because that was the time when gaming became social. That was the first time where you wanted to go out in the world and meet other people who played the same type of game as you did, so you could discuss it with them. Yeah. It wasn't about just playing a new type of game, it was about being a player. It was a new way of being a player of games.
And, it's a competitive game, so immediately yes, people have competed in games way before this. I mean, you're sitting next to each other and you're playing split screen, but...
My guess is that half of the Counter-Strike scene back then didn't have a computer. They went to internet cafes to play the game. Yeah. It was the killer app for online gaming. That was what made people buy a computer and join the community to begin with.
Yeah. And this, of course, was... your link to this was you were doing Explain at the same time and took an interest, but Explain's coming back?
So I actually built the first stats system for Counter-Strike.
Right.
I had 7 servers. Back then you hosted your own servers. Every night at midnight we would do a job on the server logs and player versus player across Denmark, how you ranked against every other player, against every other weapon, what weapon were best, were things that were completely non-transparent at the time. We made it very obvious. So in Denmark, people started, instead of running, they would start crouching around corners, and all of a sudden it became about your kill score. I randomly became one of the first managers in esports, where I helped start a team called SOA, and it just grew from there. I made Explain because I felt like it was very hard to sell a sponsorship in Counter-Strike in 2001, because 2 things had happened. The Columbine massacre happened, I think, roughly 3 weeks before Counter-Strike was released.
Oh, goodness.
So luckily, 3 weeks before, and then 9/11 happened. It was really hard to go to companies and tell them about a game where you planted bombs
and shot
to
people,
win a game after the towers fell.
Yeah.
It was really hard. So I came up with the idea of starting a cultural website that would just focus on the people who played the game and then tell their story.
And Bernard, you were a part of telling that story for Gooseman. How did you find it? How was this experience? A lot of research, I imagine, a lot of chats, and a bit of everything.
But also the drawing itself. It's a 4 feet by 4 feet drawing. In comics, usually we're drawing 11 by 17, and lately also now on the iPad or on the tablet. So it's the size in itself and performing drawing in front of a crowd
So you've been doing it live, right?
Oh,
like
yeah.
live here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And where would I see it?
Since yesterday.
Right in the E3 Esports Subnation Zone,
Yeah.
right here in the front section.
Fantastic. I'm going to go take a look after this. But so 4 feet by 4 feet. Are you enjoying that medium? Are you enjoying just having, the scalability?
It's daunting, but there's all these other games going on, and so I'm listening to people playing, and then it's getting me hyped up and pumped up, and fairly competitive in trying to get this piece finished.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see it. And of course, if you want to see it one more time, Seven, you got it. But it's at the Subnation area of the E3 Esports Zone.
Absolutely, and the really cool thing I want to kind of make a point is this has been kind of so enjoyable and such a great way for us to use our Unlearn moniker. So many people have rushed into the esports space, and Unlearn is really an education that we're going to do through art. So we'll do these limited edition drops, and what we're going to do with this first drop is we're going to give a portion of the proceeds back to Guzman, because he is an unsung hero who didn't really get his reward for creating something that has filled so many passion points around the world. So we're going to probably put on our Subnation Instagram a picture of Bernard's final work, and then we will come up with limited edition prints and T-shirts. And so it's really about supporting the artists and the people who've built what it is we all get to enjoy today. And so we'll do ongoing limited edition drops, but this will be the first in the series.
So there is more to come, but it's finding the, not hidden figures, but the names that but perhaps, they were being a part of esports before esports was even a thing. And perhaps that recognition wasn't there, the money certainly wasn't there, and giving it back.
And so creativity, authenticity, and Subnation is the conduit to make these things happen. And we're just really honored to be working with two friends and two OGs in their own respective rights.
Hell yeah. And you know what? I couldn't do a better sign-off than that. That is the perfect way to summarize the three people that I find myself sharing sofas with. So thank you. An absolute honor, Bernard, Kim, and of course Seven. This has been the Subnation stage, and they are working on creating and recognizing those figures in esports. Guzman the first, and you can find it on the Subnation Instagram to see this 4 foot by 4 foot masterpiece, and of course all the others that will be coming along the way. That's all from us here. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll be talking more with some fantastic personalities and characters live in E3. We are back live from Los Angeles. It's E3. We're at the E3 Esports Zone. I am your host, Machine, and I've got Gabriel Bateman live with me, the star of Child's Play, a movie I'm too terrified to watch. And I actually got mild anxiety from the trailer alone. Yeah, great to have you here, man. I mean,
great to be here.
You might be the most stylish person at E3 today. You're popping today. I just want to let you know.
Thank you. I mean, I wish I could take all the credit, but I didn't really pick any of
No?
this.
Well, whoever did this?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
We're here to talk about Child's Play. It's coming to cinemas. I'm sure you have that in your head, or I have it on my card.
Yeah.
Here it comes. No, I don't. June?
June 21st.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah,
That's
hey,
right. I
got the
Googled.
month. Yeah.
So many questions. First things first. I mean, you are a young actor going into an R-rated horror movie that's going to scare adults. How was that for an experience, knowing that you're about to strike fear into many?
Right. Well, I've done a few horror films before, but it's hard to really focus on like how the film will be received or how it'll affect people while you're filming. You mostly just focus on like what you're doing in the moment. But when the press started happening and I saw the trailers, I got really, really excited, and I've been excited ever since then.
And I mean, Chucky.
Yeah.
Creepy on set as well as creepy in the movie. How did that work?
The first time I saw him, I was genuinely kind of creeped out because he's in this one. He's really, really extremely detailed, and he can like make facial expressions and move.
Was it like animatronic?
Yeah, it's they had 9 different animatronic dolls for different purposes because each of them could do like a different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so detailed. Like he had teeth and his jaw could move up and down. So I was kind of creeped out the first time I saw him.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And
he grew on me though.
Say again?
He grew on me though.
He did? Yeah. You kept best of friends by the end of it?
Definitely.
Okay.
Best
my
buddies.
God. And you find yourself here at E3 as a gamer? I mean, I imagine there's a lot of downtime on set where a video games might be a pretty good vice.
Yeah. Well, it's hard for me to actually play that many games because I only have a Mac, so there's not
Someone
much.
get this man a computer.
I know, right?
I'll find. There's a sponsor over here. We'll have a chat.
So I don't play all that many games on my free time, which is why I love E3 so much because it's like one of my only chances to actually play new games.
Sure.
So, yeah. I just try to stay up to date with the news and all that, though.
But I mean, you're far too busy, on set on your Mac to be having too much free time to actually play them yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's focus on this Child's Play experience just for a minute. So, first question.
Okay.
How was it to basically truly jump 2 foot first into what's going to be, a blockbuster horror flick?
Right.
That how did you get the call? Like.
Yeah, I mean, I auditioned, and right from the get-go, I kind of knew it was Child's Play just based off reading the sides. So I was really, really excited, but also extremely nervous, especially when I met with Lars, the director, for the first time. I had like so many nerves.
Are you feeling like that?
Yeah, honestly.
I can't do the limbs, man. I get my feet go and my knees go.
Yeah. My legs especially, which is good because the audition is like from here up usually.
Perfect.
So they couldn't tell, hopefully. But when I first did the audition, I didn't think I was gonna get a call back.
Why? Is that just self-confidence?
Yeah, I mean,
all that?
you're always your biggest critic, obviously. I just didn't think I did my best, so I was really, really disappointed. And then like 2 weeks later, I got the call back, and I was shocked and really excited. But yeah, when we started filming, the first week, we just jumped right into the climax. So there wasn't like any time to kind of think about things or get cold feet. We just went straight into it from the get-go.
That's something that, as a normie over here, just watching the movies, I always just in my mind, it's like it all happens sequentially, chronologically.
Yeah, no, I used to think that too.
Yeah, so you have a new character you're trying to embody, trying to become, and you go straight to like the peak of their experience.
Literally the first scene, and this isn't a spoiler because you can see it in the trailer, was my mom being tied up, and like it was a very emotional scene.
Yeah.
That was the first day of filming.
Day one, like hello, shaking hands,
Day one,
introducing yourself, your mum's being tied up.
Well, I'd met most of them in like pre-production, but yeah, day one, take one, that was it.
Okay, I mean, start with a bang. I guess that
Yeah.
gets the blood flowing and
It definitely
character developed.
set the mood for the rest of the film.
Yeah. I know I spoke to you just before we started going, and I was
Right.
like, this is supposed to be a scary movie. Did you feel any of that? Like, was there? Obviously, the fourth wall's broken. You know all the back scenes. You can see the cameras and the lights. But was it a scary experience in any way? Because I don't do scary movies, man. Like Jaws was enough for me. That's where I draw the line.
On set?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a creepy animatronic doll,
Right.
and this actress is tied up, screaming for help. I'm freaked out just talking about it.
Well, like in between takes and everything, I was never scared because I'm always really comfortable with the cast and the crew. So there's not really any room to be scared. But while we're filming, like when the cameras are rolling, yeah, the fear is definitely there because I'm embodying the character.
Yeah.
But outside of that, not really, no.
Respect. But you've embodied this character. You've lived this movie. It's in cinemas June 21st.
Yes.
And it's definitely worth checking out. But a bit more about you now, away from the movie, just for
Okay.
a second, because I'm interested. This, as a young actor who has clearly, you've accelerated so very fast. How's your experience been of, the other side of acting? The coming to a convention, having a chat with some idiot in a leather jacket, the wearing ridiculously cool clothing. I mean, how's this experience been for you?
It's been insane, honestly. I'm still like getting used to it. This is my third time to E3, and I still feel like just a fan. I don't feel like there's no. I don't feel like I deserve to be here. Really, I'm just like
Join the club.
freaking out.
Join the club. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I've gotten used to it. Every time like I go to an event or Comic-Con or whatever, I just freak out as a fan.
Yeah, and have you had a chance to meet fans? How is having fans feel?
It's really weird because I obviously don't think about myself as
Sure.
like any more than just me, you
Yeah.
know. And my family keeps me really grounded. My siblings always make fun of me, so it's just mostly been weird. But I obviously appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like makes my day every when someone recognizes me. So.
And then you have this kind of sudden realization that people appreciate, respect, and truly support you, and yet you've never met them before. It's like this. I think it's a really interesting kind of social experience when it's like they know you and
But
you're only
you don't
just
know
meeting them.
Yeah. It's been cool. Yeah, it's definitely a strange sensation, especially like when you're filming or when you book a role. You don't really think about how this will affect other people or like if this will give you more fans. It's a job.
It's just the outcome. That's like a byproduct.
You're not expecting it, or at least I wasn't expecting it really ever.
Now, I have some other projects you've been working on written down here. Could you
Right.
tell me a little bit about them, or is it all under lock and key?
I can tell.
We can talk a little bit.
Yeah.
So I've got Think Like a Dog.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Okay. It's the title. It is what the title is.
Okay.
I can't say that much, but basically it's about a boy who I play, and his family is having problems, and he somehow can.
He gets feral?
No, he can hear his dog's thoughts. Yeah, it's.
So like everyone's dream.
Right. Yeah. It's fun. It's really silly, but there's also a lot of emotion in it. So.
Yeah. My goodness. If I could hear my pet's thoughts.
Yeah, it would be crazy.
Okay, so that must have been quite a fun project for you to just, not only tell that story, but to start thinking about it yourself, embodying a character.
Yeah, that was a blast to film. Everyone on set was really, really sweet. Megan Fox and Josh Duhamel play my parents, so that was a dream to work with them and meet them.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
And another one here, Playmobil. What's Playmobil?
Playmobil, but basically the same thing. It's like a toy company that's really big in Europe.
Playmobil.
Playmobil.
Who is this guy? Playmobil. That's all I played. I love Playmobil. I was more of a medieval Playmobil guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had like 2 sets, I think. I had like the pirate ship one.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember the other one, but I remember having 2 sets. But yeah, I always grew up with this weird toy called Bionicles, and then sometimes
Bionicles?
Yeah.
What, you can fold them up and they like roll?
Yeah. No,
Well,
no, that's a different thing.
That was an OG Bionicle, I swear.
Maybe. I'm probably like
yeah,
the
you
newer
probably had like
generation.
fancy, they had like, lasers and whatever.
I'm probably a newer generation of Bionicles.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, basically Playmobil is this boy and his sister get sucked into this Playmobil world, and he's now a giant Viking. And obviously, I'm not a giant Viking, so it's like
that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of juxtaposition there, and that's a lot of the film is her looking for him, and him just like enjoying being this 7 foot tall, beefy
giant Viking.
Yeah.
Wow. So how was that trying to? I mean, you had to grow up, right? And your character, you had to suddenly be. He goes through an experience of.
Yeah.
Yo, you're an adult. You're 7 foot tall.
Well, I think a lot of the fun of it is that he's just freaking out. He doesn't expect it at all. Like, if you were a kid and you woke up huge, you would probably be freaked out at first, and then you would enjoy all the benefits.
Yeah, I'd need a bit of time to adjust, I think.
But yeah, I'd never done voiceover before. That was my first ever voiceover project, so it was a new experience. It was definitely a lot of fun.
I mean, so the physical aspect of acting is gone. I spoke to some voice actresses yesterday, and I was learning about that experience, and the kind of conclusion they came to is it is acting. You're doing everything. The only difference is there's no camera. I mean, was that a new skill you developed over the shoot?
Yeah, in a way, but like you said, for me, it was harder because it didn't have anyone to play off of, and there was no props, and there was no scene. But I definitely still was physical. In fact, I got not in trouble, but I was moving a lot of the time, which the mic would catch. But yeah, it's definitely still physical, and you make all the facial expressions. It's not like you're just void outside of your voice.
But perhaps quite like a isolating experience.
Yeah.
Though. Like, I mean, normally I feel like there's quite a lot of camaraderie and banter in between takes, and quite a warm experience when acting. That's my a naive impression.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're in a booth. It's just you and a microphone. It's take a while to get used to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've done a lot of filming physically outside of that, principal photography. So it was definitely not what I expected at all. Not to have an actor to play off of or an actress. And just kind of you and the director talking back and forth through lines. But it was still an amazing experience. I mean, Lino, the director, let me ad-lib so many of the lines. So yeah, it was really, really fun.
And a question about learning lines. So when I was attempting to be an actor, I think I did a lot of theatre studies, and I did a great Thisbe, did a bit of Shakespeare. The one thing that really couldn't handle was, I mean, you were given essentially a novel, and you have to somehow take that to memory. You got any tips? I mean, like, how do you ingest so much into your memory at once?
Well, as a film actor, I don't have to learn as much. I don't have to learn the entire script.
So you just do like segments?
Yeah, scene by scene. But I can't give any advice really, because I've always been really lucky. Since I was young, before I was an actor, or younger, I always memorized like Bible verses and just random stuff really, really fast. So I don't know. I just kind of like read it to myself and repeat it in my head.
So you've kind of got the memory lottery, photographic memory.
Well, I don't know about photographic, but
close enough.
I was lucky.
Yeah, lucky. Well, I mean, that is what, for me, I consider one of the scary parts of acting. You've just managed to kind of have a natural affinity for it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I've definitely had an experience, like maybe once or twice, where I didn't have the lines memorized while I was in an audition, and it's one of the like most humiliating experiences of my life. Yeah. And
I mean, it says here there's other projects, and I'm very intrigued to know. What else have you got coming up that you've got excitement around?
Well, I have Robert the Bruce is my last film that's coming out this year, besides the 3 that you mentioned, or 3. It's about Robert the Bruce, and it's played by the same actor who played him in Braveheart. And basically, it's after the war, and there's